Hi friend, this is your friend Pankaj. Today I'm gonna describe, explain a beautiful poem, Stopping by Woods on a Snowy Evening. This poem was written by Robert Frost. He was an American poet. We have seen in the previous video the road not taken. This poem was written in 1922 and in a collection of Hampshire, right? And it was later published after 1 year in 1923. This poem became very famous, right? Or the last stanzas of the poem that the woods are lovely, dark and deep, but I have promised to keep, and miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep. Okay, this last stanza is so attractive, so charming, so inspiring that Pandit, the first Prime Minister of our country, India, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, was inspired, was completely inspired with these 4 lines of this poem, right? As it is, a story goes, or we know, he used to keep these stanzas, okay, written on a white paper. He used to keep it in his on his table, right, in the drawer. He used to keep. So this is really beautiful poems, and in this poem we will see there is conflict between in this poem we see conflict between two things: conflict between sense of duty and conflict between that is desire of enjoyment, right? We see two conflicts here, right? So, before starting a poem, we must go line by line, right? And we'll explain it in a very as clear as it is as crystal. First of all, we must know the heading, okay? Poem or the title: Stopping by Woods on a Snowy Evening. Stopping by woods, the poet stops in a wood, right? Woods means here we say in a synonyms or jungle, that is forest. So stopping in a forest, stopping in jungle on a snowy evening. It was evening time and it was falling snow, right? It was evening, covered with snow, and it was evening time. So in this situation, the poet stops in a forest, right? Now, whose woods these are, I think I know, right? His house is in the village though. He will not see me stopping here to watch his woods fill up with snow. My little horse must think it queer, right? There are 3 stanzas of this poem. There are 4 stanzas in this poem, and each stanza contains 4 lines, right? And this is an example of iambic tetrameter, okay? This poem is a lyric poem. You can say it is a lyric poem. So, whose woods means here jungles, forest. Whose woods these are means where the poet has stopped in that jungle or that woods. So he talks about that jungle. Whose woods these are means who is the owner of these woods? Who is the owner of this forest, jungle? I think I know. Again the poet says, I know the owner of the jungle or forest. I think I know. It means the poet is familiar to um, owner of that jungle. His house is in the village though. And he says, he explains, he gives more description, more ideas about his village is in the village though. Means the owner of this forest or jungle, he lives in a village. He will not see me stopping here. And the poet had stopped in that evening, that snowy evening. It was dark, it was, you can say, there was no sun shining. So, also, and the owner belongs to a village, that's why no one can see the poet stopping there. So, the poet claims here, no one could see me stopping there. He was alone in the forest. To watch his roads fill up with snow. And now he is describing about this jungle that is filled with snow. That is here hyperbole used here, right? How could it be possible? The whole area of jungle could be filled up with snow? No, it was falling snow heavily, right? Too much snow it was falling. So the poet talks about filled up with snow. He used here hyperbole. This poetic device is very means it shows exaggerating, means exaggeration, right? Here the poet is exaggerating it, right? So my little horse must think it queer, and my little horse must think it queer to stop without a farmhouse near. In the second stanza, my little horse must think it queer. It means the poet is riding a horse, right? He's on a horse. So my little horse must think it queer, and he suddenly stopped his carriage, means horse, in the middle part of the forest. So the poet thinks here, my little horse must think it queer. Queer means strange, unknown, okay, unfamiliar. So horse must feel strange or unknown, confused, right? Horse must feel confused because of his stopping there in the jungle, right? So again we will see here, horse is, we are talking about horse must think. So how can it be possible any animal think here, right? So here horse must think. So horse is personified here, right? Because horse is used like a person or people who is thinking here, right? So to stop without a farmhouse near, because in the forest, in the evening forest, there is no farmhouse, no you can say stubble like, okay, they no any resting place, right? No any house, no any farmhouse. So why has the poet suddenly stopped his horse there? Okay, so the the horse must be thinking. The poet must be brooding over all these things. Between the woods and frozen lake, and where he has stopped. He has stopped between. One side is forest, one side is woods, and the other side is frozen lake. There is lake there, a stream there, right? That is freezed. Okay, so freezed lake there, freezed stream there. Okay, short type of river you can say. So between this stream or the woods, he has stopped, right? the darkest evening of the year. And again he is showing that night was some different night, okay, in the year, because that day was very dark, very dark, very dark, okay, rather than other days. He gives his harness bells a shake to ask if there is some mistake. Very beautiful line. He gives means horse. Horse has harness bells. Bells, you know very well, that is attached to his neck. Okay, that rings sometimes while running, right? So harness bells means the bells that is tied in the neck, in horse neck. So the horse must, I think the horse will shake his bell. For what? For to ask if there is some mistake, or what mistake has been done by the horse, right? He has been stopped there? Okay, so what is his mistake? What is his fault here to stop in this dark snowy evening? So the horse wants to know his mistake. The only other sound is the sweep of easy wind and downy flake. And the only other sound, the sweep of easy wind and downy flake. There was no sound, there was no chirping of trees, chirping of birds, or some other crying of people, right? So there was only one sound could be heard, right? Blowing of air, right? Blowing of air, blowing of wind, easy wind, right? Blowing of easy wind, or pleasant wind, or downy flake, or it was falling. Snow was falling there. Downy, down, falling down, flake means pieces of you can say a small bit like, okay, like a cotton, like some beads of cotton are falling from the sky, right? So the woods are lovely, dark and deep, but I have promised to keep, and miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep. In the last stanza, the poet talks about the woods are lovely, dark and deep. The poets describe three things about woods, about jungle. It was very lovely, beautiful. The scene was very charming, beautiful, dark, and it was also very dark. Darkness had shadow, no light of moons, right? It was full of shadows, right? And deep. It was densely forest, right? So the forest was seen as lovely. It was lovely. Okay, the poet is imagining here the woods are lovely, dark and deep. It means it attracts poet. It enchants poets, right? It attracts the beauty of all this darkness, okay, and depth and beauty. All these things, the forest beauties, right, attract, enchant, captivate the poet. But I have promised to keep. Again, he tries to remember his sense of obligation, his responsibility, right, towards his family, towards for being a human being, towards the society, right? He said, the woods are very lovely, dark and deep. It enchanted him, okay, to keep on looking, to keep on watching. But what happens? But I have promised to keep, means again, in this conflict, as a you can say pleasure of you can say nature, right? Pleasure of ideas, right? So all the enjoyment, desire of enjoyment is attracting him. But one more obligation he has, right? He has some duty. He has some responsibility for being a human being. So he wants to fulfill it. He wants to depart from that enchantment. But the lovely or dark or deep or beauty of nature always tries to keep captivating him. Okay, so and Miles, so I will follow my promise. I will follow my target, right? And this is my promise. We have to do. Everyone has to do. And miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep. In the last line says, means I have to go a long distance, miles to before I sleep. Before I sleep. It means he's repeating the same thing, and for like repetition. This is a repetition of and miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep. These two are same lines, right? This is called repetition in poetic devices. So the poets tries to remember, tries to be divert from that situation that attracts him too much, right? And he wants to follow the sense of duty, sense of obligation, sense of responsibility, right? Or he wants to fulfill it before his sleep. Means sleep is representing here death, life's ending. Before his life ending, he wants to fulfill all this desire, right? Everybody, as we have seen in story, autobiography of Nelson Mandela. Nelson Mandela used to say, we have two obligations, right? Everyone has twin obligation. One obligation to his family, to his parents, to his wife, to his children. The second obligation is to his people, to his community, and to his nation. So similarly, everyone has to follow the sense of duty, sense of obligation. So, okay. So friends, if you find this video very important, very useful for you, definitely like and subscribe.